MK Telco Sports welcomes you to coverage of men's college basketball, where tonight the Wilmington Quakers are in town to take on the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Tonight's game is brought to you by the First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Quality Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and MK Telco. Here inside of the Sports Center and the Kinghorn and Campoli courts, Mike and Rich Bensman in a big game tonight for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Rich, 11-12 on the year, 6-10 on a much better team, as it'll be pointed out here in a second, at home, taking on a head coach in Micah Mills, Wilmington coach program at 9-14 and 5-11. They lost a handful of games in a row. It was 5 to be exact before they pulled out one against Baldwin Wallace in overtime on Saturday, 73-71. But Northern is on a back of a 2-game losing streak. They lost at B-Dub last week by 5, turned around and got smacked in Columbus, the capital, on Saturday afternoon. We'll get to the keys here in just a second, but how is this mentally, this part of the year? We know it's the grind. You're in mid-February. You're looking forward to trying to get yourself to the tournament. But how do you kind of handle this if you're on the staff for Northern right now?
Well, I mean, just like anything else, you got to prepare that you will make the tournament. So, you know, late in the season, you definitely got to save the legs. You know, practices might get shortened a little bit now, intense, but also just shortened a little bit to save the legs. Maybe they go 2.5 to 3 hours in the beginning of the year, and then you're looking at about an hour, 15, 20 minutes at the end of the year just to save the legs.
Take a look at our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game as we get ready to get this one started. You'll look at the Quakers, and a big part of this defense is about defending the basketball. They give up almost 80 points a game, and on 4 different occasions have surrendered more than 90. Want to win the rebounding battle. This team has won their last 2 games when they've gotten 40 or more rebounds. And protect the basketball. Quakers have committed 15 turnovers 11 times this year, and they're 3-8 in those games. Not a high recipe for winning a lot of basketball games.
Yeah, that's, you know, and really good games against Heidelberg and then Marietta. And then again, you're talking about the OAC, kind of throw the records out a little bit, then drop one at Baldwin Wallace. That wasn't a great situation, but Baldwin Wallace is always pretty good at Baldwin Wallace. So, you know, it's the OAC, you know, so those kind of things might surprise some people, but, you know, that's just the way the conference is built.
Keys for the Polar Bears start out with guarding the basketball. Head coach Neil Young says they want to drive us hard, and we have to make them work for it and make sure we do a good job with our rotations in the backside. We've obviously got to win the turnover margin, and it's kind of the same thing on both sides. They do a great job, and they being Wilmington, of turning us over at their place in the win 80-76 on the 17th of January. We have to handle their pressure better this time around, and most importantly, we have to win the three-point line. One of the best shooting teams from behind the arc in the OAC, and the Polar Bears at about 34%, especially here at home, taking on a team that statistically is one of the worst in the OAC at under 27%. We have to make them work for extra good looks and knock down enough of ours and not let theirs go in. It sounds simple on paper.
Yeah, you know, again, you got to play. That's why you play the games. But, you know, Wilmington's giving up about 78.8 per game, and they don't shoot it very well from the free throw line, about 59.5% from the free throw line. And consequently, Ohio Northern's only allowing 74 points a game. That's a little higher than what they were a year ago when they led the league in fewest points allowed. So I think that's important. One of the couple things, Mike, I wanted to look at the standings, and I wanted to bring up 3 teams: Otterbein, Marietta, and Ohio Northern. In order to get that 6th spot, you're going to have to have Marietta lose both games, and then what the tiebreaker does then, Mike. Sorry, all these people are coming up and shaking my hand.
It's a lot of respect. It's like being next to a godfather at all times.
Right. Well, but what it goes to then is now you go, if someone beats someone twice, they get the tiebreaker. Well, that didn't happen with Marietta and Ohio Northern. They split. So now what you do for the tiebreaker is you go to the next highest seed, and whoever had the most successful record, which would have been that's Otterbein, Ohio Northern split with them, and Marietta lost twice. So if that were the scenario, Ohio Northern would make the 6-team tournament.
Marietta's got to beat 11-5 Mount Union today and 3-13 Baldwin Wallace on Saturday. National anthem now. We'll talk more about this matchup in just a couple of minutes. Ready for the starting lineups here tonight in 8 of one of 2 games that we have for you this week. With the Ohio Northern men, the other Muskingum on a Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then potentially the ladies home next week here during the tournament as well. As we look at the starting lineup first for the Quakers of Wilmington, 9-14 on the year, 5-11 in the OAC. It'll be Carson Miles, a 6-foot freshman, who will get things started at 7.4 points per game, and he can shoot the basketball, and you got to be able to keep him from doing just that. Out of Georgetown, Ohio, where he had 43 points in an AAU game. He's played at a high level. Rashad Chisholm, 6'5" junior, wears the number 5. He's at 9 points a game. Rashad, who was at Hocking College and averaged 10 points a game out of Akron, has a double figures in 7 of his last 10. Gavin Heimlich, 6'10" junior at 5 points a game, wears a 23. Gavin calling Plain City and Jonathan Alder home. We'll talk about that coming up. Matthew Duet wears 24, a 6'5" senior at 9 points a game, and Dominic Farley, who hit the game winner on his Saturday, a 5'11" junior, wears 30. And for the Polar Bears, same starting lineup we've become accustomed to. Audubon's Will Miller, a little bit of everything. 2 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds, 14 points a game for the 6'2" sophomore, rocking 2. Blake Michael, the 6'3" junior, the leading rebounder for Ohio Northern, wears 4. Carter Reese, the leading 3-point shooter. He's hit 53 all the year. 6'3" freshman to 15. Johnny Cunningham, the Swiss Army knife for head coach Neil Young, 21. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.5 steals per game for the 6-foot freshman. And Caden Jacoby, the guy down low, 6'8" freshman, but averaging 9 points and 3.5 rebounds a game for the Polar Bears. And I love these uniforms because the script Ohio Northern across the top and then the N on the shorts. I think it's a clean look.
Yeah, it is. With new uniforms too, but we had something a little bit similar because we had a few sets of uniforms. But go back to Caden Jacoby. He's also shooting. He's second in the league with 2-point field goal percentage with 65.1. So he does a great job in efficiency on his shooting. And then Gavin Heimlich again is third in the league with block shots. He's not a small player individual.
That's why Miller didn't want to go in there to challenge him. Now we'll try the second time. Spin away, fade away, blocked it off the glass, and no dice. And on the run already, Dominic Farley, the 5'11" junior, 11 points and 3.5 assists a game. The first defensive set as he's paired up with Will Miller. An offense at 69-2, but defense has been their problem. Not getting to the rim is not an option. And Chisholm, the 6'5 junior, kind of double clutched, and Northern on their second possession now. You can't have a ton of empty possessions here in the first 3 to 4 minutes.
No, and they're both teams starting man-to-man. It was a nice little drive by Wilmington. They kind of ran a back screen for a flex cutter into a staggered screen, but didn't get anything on the drive.
First 2 possessions now. Johnny, beautiful backdoor cut on the pass. He'll have to try for 3. Hits it with 2 seconds on the shot clock. That's his 6th triple in 29 attempts. He was hitting floaters from everywhere in practice, and that was almost the exact same thing.
He's actually leading the conference in assists with 115 as well.
Well, 5 a game, and he can get them in bunches too.
Yeah.
Because if guys on this team get going, it becomes a whole other thing. It's the first foul of the ball game. If you had Northern at 1:30 and you're not done betting on sports yet after the $2 billion that was wagered on Sunday, congratulations, you're right. It's actually the first one will be on Carter Reese.
Kind of sold that a little bit. I don't know how much of a foul.
Well, Reese comes right back to him.
Yep.
That ball was thrown to him, and he doesn't go here. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, to you and yours. A ton of pink shoes on the floor right now.
Yeah.
And a high-octane first quarter, first part of this half, rather.
A couple shots missed by Wilmington.
I called that a 2. Doesn't matter. It didn't go. You call it whatever you want if it goes.
3 offensive rebounds in a row, so you get an opportunity for some second chance points. So on the other one, probably want to block out a little bit better.
Northern had won 6 in a row until they lost on January the 17th. Will Miller led all scorers with 23, but it's kind of an oddity the way this series has gone, because about the last 15 games, it's been during blocks. Northern had won 6 in a row. Now the first win for Wilmington as they throw it away for the second consecutive trip.
Yeah.
But before that, it was 5 straight wins for Wilmington.
Yeah. Michael Mills does a great job. Kind of a nice young talent in the conference. I remember him when he was really young, and we had a point guard camp here, and he did a great job of being an instructor at our point guard camp.
Speaking of great, here's Carter Reese again. It's now 6-0 Polar Bears. But you go back to that, he played at Ohio Valley University. It's in West Virginia. That long pedigree for him as it's tapped. I think that's a good call. Wilmington folks won't like it, but it was off of Carson Miles.
Yeah. And Mike was at Otterbein for a little stint as well, so he's pretty familiar with the OAC.
And one thing that he said, Johnny, with another beautiful pass, Miller to the layup, but looked like it was blocked all the way up.
Check the basket a little bit there, so they're coming out in a press. Too busy talking to you, I didn't get a chance to take a look at what kind of press it was.
My wife says that same thing. I think she means something totally different, but happy Valentine's Day to her anyways. The outlet for another 2. Blake Michael with 2, forcing into a precision trip timeout. The first 3+ minutes in the books, and Northern on top 8-0 here on NK Telco Sports. It's an 8-0 lead for Ohio Northern. Impressive so far for the Polar Bears. 7-3 here at home, and if you go back to what Coach Mills said about this team, he said, it's one thing about this Northern team. They're a lot faster at home than they are on the road. We know we have to be ready to handle their transition offense early on. We have to play efficiently on both sides, and we have to be able to attack. They've tried it 2 or 3 times now, and it's just not going in, but Northern's forcing them a little bit off balance more than Wilmington would like.
And they've had some decent looks. You just haven't gone in. It's kind of the name of the game sometimes, Mike.
If you're watching online, which you obviously are, you can hit us up in the little comment box down there. Tell us where you are watching from, who you're rooting on. It's always one of my favorite things to see where people are enjoying OAC basketball.
See, there just wasn't, the spacing wasn't there for that pass to be made down the line in the middle of the lane.
Carson Miles with another turnover.
That's a 1-2-2. Yeah.
I always call that a, we'll just let you know we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just kind of picked up a little bit full court man, then settled down in the half court.
Reese with that left-handed toss. He's got that heavy wrap on his right. Now it's 16-13. Drives up and in. That's his second basket, and it's 10-0 Ohio Northern. If you draw up a way you want this to start, 5 turnovers and 10 points for Wilmington and then Northern, respectively, for Coach Young. He's probably thrilled.
Yeah, very active hands with Ohio Northern. That's about 3 times that on a driver they got a hand on the ball for a steal.
Nearly hit the cheerleader in the face, the guy who cheats with the little bikes.
Yeah.
It nearly took him out.
He does.
He is a total, you'll see coming up in a bit, I'm sure. So the first couple of minutes with the advantage to Northern. Look at the Bears again. They desperately need this win, sitting at 6-10 in the OAC, but to get to 500 overall. Polar Bears bring in Noah Langford for the first time.
That was a great little flash to the middle by Carter Reese. We used to call that a Maryland cut. Kind of was set the screen and he flashed to the middle. He was open, but
oh, what a great turnaround. Yeah. Just that little hesitation for a split second that Jacoby would not go to the rim.
That's why he's shooting 65.1% from the field.
But that's a normal. I don't know where that's coming from. That's coming from the other microphone. But normally that's more of a jump shot, but he was able to make it with that little baby hook.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Kind of a little bit of Ryan Bruns X kind of.
Depends on which side of 127 you're on, right?
Ryan Bruns-esque, yeah. He had that little half hook.
Mason Studer in for the first time as well. Goes to Reese in the corner on the drive. Tries the floater, hits the floater. He's now got 7 and a timeout. It's 14-0 Ohio Northern on the First National Bank scoreboard. It's a full timeout here on MK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Back here inside the ONU Sports Center as the look inside both huddles, and you get behind. I mean, how do you explain to young men, though, all right, we don't have to get 14 all at one time here. We can do 2 here, 4 there, get a strip, get a steal.
Yeah, that's exactly what Coach Mills was talking about, actually, in that huddle.
Ohio Northern's got 11 points off the turnovers right now. There are 7 of them.
Wow.
Wilmington's 0 for 4 from the field. Northern's a white-hot 6 of 8, and they're 2 for 2 from 3. Also, the rebounds, 5-1 in favor of Wilmington.
Yeah, they got a few offensive rebounds. I'll tell you what Ohio Northern looks like they're doing is playing the drive of Wilmington pretty strong.
Drive inside, speaking of. Jack Naray with his first 2 cuts the lead to 14-2 at 14:45. But how important is that to get that basket coming out of that timeout, not waste that timeout?
You got to get off the schneid, and that maybe helped with a little confidence. And you talk about turnovers, and the first 11 for Wilmington. Usually, I mean, not usually, but back in the day, Wilmington could really force a lot of turnovers with their athleticism.
Naray fouled on his way to the basket, and that, is also a little bit different too, because 7 turnovers for a team that averages 14.
Yeah.
It's a foul beyond Jacoby. That'll be number 1 for the 6'8 freshman. Jack Nuri at the line. So we get a pair of shots. A little about Jack. Season high is 4 points. Games out of Mainville, Ohio, down in Cincinnati's area. He played at Kings High School. What's the free throw down?
Yeah, Kings and Little Miami are 2 school districts in Mainville.
Leave it to a Cincinnati guy to know that.
Yeah. Oh, Little Miami's really grown. Pretty soon they're going to be one of the
Medium
biggest schools in
Miami.
the state.
They're now.
No, I think they're large Miami now.
It'll be in parentheses, not so Little Miami.
Yeah.
Second free throw good. So Jack Naray's got all 4 of his team's points, and that's the 4th time this year that he scored 4. That's his season high.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that the way he's playing, he'll probably break that.
It's a good cut by Mason Studer.
Not really anywhere to go for Conley.
Yeah, Wilmington's coming up, trying to dial up a little bit more pressure, put a little more heat on the basketball.
They have definitely played faster in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah. Wilmington continues to, or Ohio Northern continues to run that motion offense. And
Conley for 3.
Short.
Off the front half of the rim and short. It's going to come back out to him. Now diving on the floor in front of us is Theo Mag, and you can see the despondency on his face of, I almost got that one.
Yeah. It was not a very fortuitous bounce for Ohio Northern.
Looking right at his dad, and I was waiting to see exactly what was going on as there's a timeout on the floor.
Media.
So the media timeout is a precision strip timeout. Ohio Northern on top 14-4 here on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Yeah, let's go Bears. That was what the challenge was during the timeout. It's an oddity now because Coco, the young lady who sings the national anthem, did not do so tonight because they have the band. But I've become so accustomed to just now hoping that she's singing every national anthem.
Yeah. A little shout out to Chris Matejko over there. Looks like he might be the administrator in charge. He's our men's soccer coach. They had a really great year last season. Actually beat one of the powerhouses in Division III in the tournament with beating Messiah. 1-0, I think it was. That was a great win for Coach Matejka and the Polar Bear soccer team.
Polar Bears in the 49th season of this building. 390 and 181. They're 7-3 at home this year, as you saw inside Neil Young's huddle. 21 and 27 for him. He's now just 45 wins behind Rich Bensman for 7th place.
Yeah.
To keep the Bensman counter going. He's going to catch Clyde Lamb, who was the coach here from 46 to 49. He's got 24. He'd be next on the list. Another turnover. That ball just zipped high for Travis Mitchell.
Well, he was also taking it. He was taking it off the drive before he had the ball. Is what he did. He got a little anxious to get to the basket off the drive, and he got to secure the basketball first.
Now, really, the first time that Wilmington has gone complete sellout on their press down there.
Yeah. They got the athletes to do it, too. They did a pretty good job of face guarding for the most part. Oh, that's a great job coming over the top of that with Mason Studer.
Now Will Miller whipped inside at Langford on the spin, wanted to go, found a second defender, had to scurry one back out. And the first basket for Carson Conley and the first bucket for the Polar Bears in a while. Stops their 14-0 lead with a 4-point run. But now we're back to ONU being on the run through the first 7 minutes. I also just noticed, too, that, by the way, I was talking about Will Miller, the terrific career that he had, the 3rd all-time leading scorer at Audubon. There's one of the all-time leading scorers in Putnam County history, and Josh Turbin sitting behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Happens to be up the road at Finley.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he could have guarded that shot either.
Yeah, he was Will Miller's teammate in high school.
And that was a terrific team, by the way. You also have Ryan Seaver, who played at Capitol on that same team.
Yeah.
So 16-7 in favor of ONU, but a lot of screens having to be run to get open.
Yeah. It's a really good little curl cut off of that kind of free throw line area screen by Mason Studer.
Miller studied the clock. Last time we saw him, he just put up his career high.
That was pretty good defense by Wilmington there.
Wilmington's got to shoot. Studer on the run.
Yeah.
And did he get it off? Yeah. They'll let him have it.
That was a pretty good defensive series by Wilmington. If you can get Ohio Northern late in the shot clock in their motion offense, sometimes the look isn't always the best.
Farley trying to abuse Conley.
Not a lot of ball movement, a lot of driving. Good help by
a great last-second dump.
Yep.
And the reverse layup for Travis Mitchell will not go. That's an awkward position, even with those long arms, they have to try to reach.
Yeah.
Miller to the basket for 2.
I think that was, they came down the floor. Wilmington didn't make one pass. I think he wanted to try to beat Carson Conley off the drive the entire time. And he did, but great job with Theo Mag coming over and showing and help.
And that's been the big thing. As Theo's minutes have gone up, so has his production, obviously, as he's gotten more comfortable during his freshman year. Mm-hmm. He's done some big things for this defense. Big three, Ben Golan. He said, you guys didn't give me 3 the last time. I'm taking it this time. He's got the last 5 for his team. And he's coming off a big game. He had
a little off to the right.
28.
Got it.
28 earlier this year against Wittenberg.
It was a great little flare cut off of that screen. And, Mason's mixing it up. He did a little curl cut before. Now he took a little, a fade cut, flare, and he did a great job.
If that pass was to Langford, it was great. Otherwise,
he just
didn't work.
Right by him.
Kicked it across for Studer. 21-9. Here comes Miller again. Reverse layup. Too strong. Theo Mack couldn't help him out. Northern women tied at 16 at near the end of the first. Down in Wilmington. It's another bright arena.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
It's different.
That's like the nicest thing I think an opposing coach could say. It's different. It's a rebound underneath. And not only did Northern sort of blow that assignment there, and Travis Mitchell, through 4 different guys, just kind of stood there and watched him grab the rebound and then score.
Yeah, you can't turn and rim run or watch the rim. You got to get a body on somebody. Wilmington did a great job of crashing the offensive boards.
Into the corner now. Way back up top. Conley for 3.
Great long rebound there. Good job by Mason Studer pulling that down.
Thought about it. Decided, you know what? 6 of 28 isn't a great number. Kept along with it. And now it's Mason Studer's world. We saw him do this earlier this season where he hit 3 out of 5.
Yeah, he can do it. He's in high school. He was a pass first kind of point guard, obviously, with the all-time assist record at Colonel Crawford. But he definitely could knock down those shots, those 3 points as well.
Wilmington now leading the ONU women 18-16 after a while.
Just wasn't enough space to make that pass on offense. Northern did a good job crowding the floor.
Back to Studer for 3. Wasn't a bad look at it. Just got quick early in the shot clock.
When you make that cut, that Laker cut as we call it, don't go straight down the line. He needs to kind of make a little bit of an arcing cut to create some space.
I'll see what I can do about getting him a little Bluetooth headset so you can relay that during the second half. It's an offensive foul.
Wow.
10th turnover, and the foul going on Jack Naray. Not the way they would like for Coach Mills. He was just staring towards the general direction of the official of, I'm sorry, could you please come here for a second? I would like to ask you about Valentine's Day and what your plans are after the game. And then say, I don't really care about any of them. Just tell me what that call was. How can you get that? Polar Bears. 8:45 in the first half, leading 24-11. Again, the difference being that they started out the game on a 14-0 run.
Yeah, that was a great screen and rescreen by Jacoby. And Jotty Cunningham did a great job of using it as well. Really moving and cutting hard without the basketball in this motion offense, Ohio Northern.
So the Polar Bears, again, a team at 68%, but a timeout comes to ice your own shooter at this point. So 24-11, ONU is the lead on the First National Bank scoreboard here on NK Telco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
24-11, Ohio Northern's men here in Ada. The women, by the way, open up the second quarter on a 6-0 run to take a 22-18 lead over Wilmington. They're about a minute and a half into quarter number 2. And again, they will be home hosting, more than likely on that 3 line next week, and we'll have that game as well as Saturdays. Jacoby missed the first free throw. He's 24 of 52 now.
He just left that a little short.
He's too tall.
Long that time. Good job, Will. Or no, that's Blake Michael. Once again, rebounding the basketball is something that he has a knack for.
Reese for 3. Got it again. There's Blake Michael again.
Yep.
2 possessions now he's kept alive for Ohio Northern.
Yeah.
And a foul on the floor.
He played for Fremont St. Joe's. Went to a few of his games. And again, I think I told you before, he shot the ball well. He throws it down with a dunk pretty good athletically. But one of the things that always stood out was he rebounded the basketball. And Depot Pizza in Fremont.
Not a sponsor.
No.
They might be after this. Yeah. Of just you.
Well, Fremont's a long way away from Newport, so.
So they have to deliver.
Right.
What a great run for Carter Reese. Reese now with 9.5, and it's a 26-11 lead. Yeah, we're not even trying to. How does NIL work for administrators?
Yeah.
Is that how that goes?
Oh, it's good.
They just get the Bensman copter and send you pizza. Jacoby got right up in there to force the tie-up.
Yeah, great job with walling up. With Ohio Northern helping so well, sometimes you got to go elsewhere with the recovery. You know, you get a kick after the help's there, and you actually play the help. You're counting on the help to be there, but you're making that extra pass for the recover.
You know, it's fascinating. I never paid attention to the officials as the drive and the foul on Carter Reese. That'll be number 2 for him. But Clay Ehrman, who is the official the furthest away from us, you see in the back of this shot. If you are watching, he did something that I've never seen before, and I just never paid attention. When there was the jump ball and the change of possession, whatever it was in his left pocket, he put in his right pocket. Which is fine and dandy as long as you remember which one's your right pocket, which one's the left.
Well, but I guess there's an arrow over here that might indicate that as well.
He wasn't looking at the arrow, though. That was the weird thing to me. Just missed on the first of 2. Again, he played at Hocking College. He and I both went to Hocking College for a while. Worked out better for him, though. It's 1 out of 2 from the line. 7:40 to go in the first half. Johnny off balance. Kind of up and into 2 different guys.
Well, the thing that you don't want to do is get sped up when somebody's pressing you and take a rushed quick shot, and that's kind of what Ohio Northern did right there. It's a free-for-all now.
Yep, that ball ripped away. Now here comes Northern back the opposite way. Trying to find a hide-and-seek shot for Will Miller. Line drives one.
Yeah, Blake might have gotten away with dragging that foot a little bit on that.
But I digress, and we play on.
That's right.
Some bright pink shoes from Carson Miles. Beard game is strong with that one.
It's off to the right.
Way off to the right. Another free rebound this time for Blake Michael, leader in that category. Shout out to Ted, watching from beautiful downtown Elida. It's about 40 degrees in Elida right now. 6:47 left in the first half on the First National Bank scoreboard. Johnny trying to set up Will Miller, and he banged it home. Will Miller says, remember me? 41 threes on the year now. And he extends that lead to 29-12. Jed Smith's going to check in here in a minute. And he's got a beautiful curly mullet.
Great help again by Jacoby.
And because we haven't had a timeout in a while, so we'll stay here and look at the floor right now. 29-12, Ohio Northern. 6:25 to go in the first half. When Jed Smith checks in, he's out of Beloit West Branch. And there are not a lot of happy folks in the coaching caravan over to my right.
No. Yeah, that kind of, I mean, they knew coming in here what this was going to be. Mike even said it. Coach Mills said it in his keys. But defending it's another thing. Ohio Northern is doing a really good job coming out with a lot of energy, just a lot of focus, shooting the basketball pretty well, and moving without the basketball pretty well, and really guarding. They're mudding up the lanes, kind of sloppying it up, but I think that's to stop Wilmington's drive.
Shout out to my dude, John Bazika, watching up in the greater Canton area. 29-12 at 6:25. This game, again, so big because of the implications of the tournament. The women's game has got the Ohio Northern women on top 24-21 with about 4 minutes to go as they are trying to stay up in that 3 spot in the league right now. Shooting 4 of 14 for Wilmington. They're 3 of 4 from the line. Hey, that's the good news. They're out rebounding Northern 15-6. The unfortunate part is they have 2 turnovers that have been put 15 points off the board. Northern has 2 turnovers that have gone for 2 points. Fast breaks are pretty much even. Paint's pretty much even. Bench points. But Northern's 12 of 22. The big takeaway, they're 5 of 10 from 3.
Yeah. Wilmington tried a great job by Will getting down there and swiping at the ball, but he just couldn't get a hand on it.
I think that's an even better job on the offensive end, though.
Yeah, Coach Mills drew that up a little bit, I think, out of that timeout for that out-of-bounds play.
Well, he drew a nice play, but Matthew Diggy made sure that he was able to execute it to perfection. He just stayed with it.
Yeah, great job of Wilmington keeping their feet on Will Miller's kind of spin and then an up and under move.
Nick Malagreca Jr. in for the first time as well as a completely different line. And they bullet pass from Diggy down low to Rashid Chisholm for 2. So another 4-point run to cut the lead to 29-16.
And they switched on that dribble handoff. Ohio Northern starts with a series of dribble handoffs. We got caught really behind that screen. Mason could have taken that shot.
And you can see the whole way that Blake Michael was going to go to his left to Will Miller.
It's amazing. So they doubled down on Theo Mag from the strong side guard.
Strong side? That's a completely different movie, I think. But the first basket for Noah Langford, that's impressive, too. Honestly, I thought it was chicken and egg of travel in charge at the same time.
Could be, yeah.
I would be willing to bet you that Chisholm would have liked the travel instead of the foul.
Nolan Borners is over there from New Brigham. He doesn't have his cowboy boots and shorts on tonight.
Kid was a heck of a football player, by the way.
Yeah, he was good. He brought a lot of energy to practice in everything that he played.
I think one of the most fun times that I've had covering a team during a run was when New Bremen went and won the state title in football.
Yeah.
From the time they beat, in that odd sort of weird 2020 year where they beat Marion Local and then just after that said, well, if we can beat them, we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Then they did.
That's a confidence builder.
So off another screen, a deep 3. Theo Mag chased down the rebound. Or his uncle calls him Theoville.
Got 3-point shooters in both corners.
Also a guy that can flat out hustle to get you there in Farley, but he turned it over. Out ahead, here comes Miller for 2.
Yeah, well, Jottie's leading the conference in steals, and I think right behind him, number 3 is Will Miller. So both of those were involved with that little steal and basket. You got to protect the basketball. Really good hands.
So I'd say good feet for Malagreca. But the fact that he was able to stop on the dime like that. Jotty, what I love about Jotty is he just continues to go through with his head up. He ran into a wall.
Yeah, that was a lot of contact.
Northern with their 3rd turnover. But I just love how he just sees the floor so well. That's such a big part of his game. He doesn't have to score 20 a game. If he does, he's probably going to have 7 assists to go with it.
Right. Well, and that's why he's leading in assists and steals.
Speaking of,
in the conference.
A dime of a pass from Golan to Carson Miles for 2. Miles, a freshman, went through the middle, and well, now as I say something nice about him, he's of course called for a foul. 30-23 is the women's score with 3:14 to go in the first half down in Wilmington in that two-tone green and two-tone wood court they have down there.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in the first time you're there.
Yeah, it is. I got a player from our state championship team that actually went to Wilmington play, and first time sitting in those seats, you know, was an interesting experience for me.
We did some OAC games during that press box era, and that is way up there.
Yeah.
But talk about Jotty, though. The first time these teams played, he had 2 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals.
Good job,
Studer from the free throw line. He hit him with that little Kobe leg kick for 2. Said I can do more than shoot outside.
I think the last few games, I think Mason was a little bit under the weather. I think he was sick, and I think he's feeling much better tonight, and he's kind of showing it.
Jaden Lewis with the miss for Wilmington. And a lot of guys have played on both sides already. I'd be willing to bet you each team has played about 10 guys so far.
Yeah.
So still trying to field this game out. And if nothing else, very young classes.
Running a lot of back screens right now. It's just a great job by Mason. I mean, Mason's come to play today.
So Mason with another basket gives him 6 in the game. So the I don't think the scoreboard's right. It's 2:20 to go. I think the score is right. I think the scoring is not right.
Yeah. See, once again, that's
drop
just,
Miller takes away.
Yeah. There's just no angle on that.
Studer for 3.
Middle.
Bang. Polar Bears in some kind of run right now, up 21 late in this first half on the First National Bank scoreboard here on NK Telco Sports. The advantage that Ohio Northern has right now on the scoreboard, 40-18. There's a lot of great basketball to be played today. You look at this game, you look at the women who are up 31-23 late in the second. And also, today will be the day on Valentine's Day that Caitlin Clark becomes the women's all-time leading scorer here in just about 40 minutes or so. People are on her about the shot selection, the loss to Nebraska. She had 31 points in the game. I don't really know what else you want.
She's pretty good.
She also had 10 assists, by the way. So I think that's the part of her game that people don't talk enough about. Only 5 other people, men or women, have ever had 1,000 assists in their career. It's a long shot from 3. It's a long windup for Lewis. And surprise, surprise, here's Johnny with another rebound.
Yeah, nice.
Fires
nice
one
pass.
into Theo Mag. Now, my question to you is, we had the same view that he did. At what point do you think he saw Theo? Because I never did.
Yeah, I think pretty early. I think he made that pass before Theo came open.
I think Theo didn't know Theo was going to be that open.
Yeah.
So rebound will not fall down. And I don't know, teams have not had a good run of it on the left side of the floor from where we are. Smag will have it lost out of play.
Yeah, but you know, that was a turnover in which we were, Hal Northern was trying to make something happen. So, you know, I know it's a kind of a paradoxical statement to say there are good turnovers, but the bad turnovers when you're aloof with the basketball and you don't value it very much and you don't handle it. That time, Ohio Northern was trying to get a transition basket and just a narrow margin in there right there.
So my doctor mentions good cholesterol. Just kind of laugh, and I said, that's fine. What's the bad cholesterol? So we're not talking about that. Just don't forget, about a minute to go. You can watch these games back through YouTube, Facebook at nktelco.com/sports. And right now, a flat-footed block by Jacoby, stolen by Miller. And here we go again. 3-on-2 coming the other way. And Miller never saw the defender sneaking through the middle.
It's going to be a little dish to that, yeah. Just
turnover for you, turnover for me. Northern.
Oh, good job. Wow.
Jacoby running the floor and rewarded,
just
but
kind of didn't know where he was on the basketball floor, Mike.
Talked about it in our keys to the game about Northern playing fast here at home.
Yeah.
It's inside, faster than where that pass was going to be. Travis Mitchell for 2.
Yeah.
Nobody stopped him.
And some of the past Wilmingtons over the over years. This would have favored Wilmington, how they used to always play really fast.
A couple years ago, they had 87, 88 points a game.
Yeah.
Kobe. Johnny didn't like the screen, went with a lob. Not his best choice so far today.
No.
And the half comes to an end with a 42-20 lead for the Ohio Northern men. Great defense for the Polar Bears. We'll see if they can keep it up on the other side of the halftime break here on NK Telco Sports.
Carriage Works has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. Carriage Works thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. Carriage Works now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. Carriage Works has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for Carriage Works. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The Hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
If you're a veteran, surviving spouse, or a dependent of a veteran, contact Shelby County Veteran Service Commission today. We can help you apply for a wide range of veteran-related benefits that you earned. Shelby County Veteran Service Commission. Veterans helping veterans.
Back in Ada here as we get ready for the half of a two. That's the second of the two halves that they play. 42-20 is the score on the big scoreboard brought to you by the First National Bank. Taking a look at our stats for today, brought to you at the half by Great Lake Health Systems. Tells a big story, Rich. The biggest number for me is 20. Yep. Off of 16 Wilmington turnovers, there have been 20 Ohio Northern points. Rebounds in favor of Wilmington, turnovers in favor of Northern. Not a lot of free throws, thank goodness. We can get one night where Love takes over and there's no more, bump and run for free throws.
Yeah, I mean, 20-4 on turnovers is just a stat that's not great, especially if you're not shooting the basketball well and the other team is. That's not great, obviously. And then fast break points, 9-0 Ohio Northern.
Also, Northern was struggling for a long time with no bench points, and then Mason Suter happened. He's got 13 off the bench. Carson Conley's got 2. Will Miller's got 7. Blake Michael with 2. Carter Reese with 9. Those were all early on in the first 10 points for the Polar Bears. Johnny's got 3, 2 apiece from Theo Mag and Caden Jacoby. Wilmington is led by Ben Golan. He had those back-to-back shots of 5. That's what he's got. 2 from Carson Miles, 3 from Rashad Chisholm, 4 from Travis Mitchell and Jack Naray, and Matthew Duguay with 2. That's it. That's the scoring in the first half. And we talk about tempo and the keys of the game about how Northern plays much faster here at home, and I would say they did that, and also happens that they shot exceptionally well as well.
Yeah, there's an adage that's out there in the coaching world that says that there's nothing least important than the score at halftime. Not sure how I feel about that, but we've talked about that when we've had the big leads like you do, because you can't get complacent and you got to continue to, do what you do. Same with if you're down big, you just can't get down on yourself, because you just got to continue to work and grind.
The guy giving out massages seems like he's pretty happy, so I guess if the big man's happy, we're happy.
I guess.
Don't forget, you can watch replays of this at any time on the NKT.TV app, or Thursday at 6 o'clock on channel 160 on NK Telco Cable, 28th at noon, 29th at noon on channels 3 or 503, or on demand anytime through YouTube, Facebook, and nktelco.com/sports.
It's interesting how they're playing Blake Michael. They're really stepping a foot off of him for the
Reese
try.
came up short. Jacoby ends up on the floor. Just for a split second, I didn't see anybody down there in front of Gavin Heimlich, but
gets sniped. Everybody look out for themselves. He's in the stands.
The pink shoes. That's how they got him. So the first possession of the second half for Wilmington. The same thing that Miles was trying to do earlier. Stop, go inside.
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe somebody will double down and create a shooter on the out.
Yeah, they must have done a lot of penetration on that first meeting at Wilmington.
Rashad Chisholm, Rashid now with his 13th of the year, and that's one way to start. Again, I know we talk about it all the time, but if halftime scores don't matter, you still got to get 20 back by 2s or 3s.
That's a tough miss there by Jacoby. It was a nice pressure release, so Jacoby flashed high to relieve the kind of guard getting hounded up the floor. Sometimes you have those pressure release guys to do that.
Heimlich drives right into Jacoby on the block.
Great job walling up by Jacoby, keeping hands straight up. And we used to call that body up the close-in shooter, and he did a great job there.
Driving right, missing left is Farley. Ball out of play, says Clay Irvin. It'll stay Ohio Northern basketball. Women getting started in the second half here momentarily, leading a 41-29 through the first couple of minutes of quarter 3. So again, big wins because the Ohio Northern women are playing for a home game next week. Hopefully 1, maybe 2, depending on how it shakes out. But the Ohio Northern men are playing for their playoff lives.
Yeah. That was an interesting, looked like a 2-2-1 but press, but it started with them taking the inbounder's man and doubling the guy trying to make the cut, and then it turned into looking like a zone press a little bit that Wilmington just applied there to Ohio Northern.
So Jacoby with his first foul of the second half on that illegal screen. Northern leading 42-23, but again, you can't have that opening of going the wrong way.
Just not a lot of ball movement right now for Wilmington. It's kind of a drive and a one pass and a shot.
The dent of the back of the rim. Please replace your divots. I think is how that goes.
Yeah.
Johnny, so quick. What amazes me about him when I watch him is his ability to take one dribble where it'll be a right-handed dribble, and then all of a sudden he'll throw a dart through the middle with his left.
Yeah.
He's either ambidextrous or he's very good with both hands. So back-to-back, nearly back-to-back turnovers, but it ends up being the exact same thing anyway. Different way to get there, same end product.
Yeah. Just got a little impatient, kind of got the ball stuck in the corner, and Will kind of got, sticking in that drive for the baseline. Just get it out, reverse it.
It's easy to do unless the ball's on the floor.
It's also 6 one way, half dozen the next. You see Will knock those little 15-footers down as well.
He's done that
just let Will be Will.
So the throw, speaking of, let a guy be a guy. Matthew Doogie with the second make of the ball game, and he's a kid that if he gets going, you're in trouble. The senior averaging 9 a game.
Yeah. Good job.
Polar Bears try to counter a 2 with a 3.
Oh boy.
Rebound on the
a lot of traffic there.
Flush for Chisholm. Good ball fake into the corner to create space, but a 3 will not go. And I laugh, by the way,
Coach Mills wanted that, didn't he?
Yes, more than anything.
Yeah. Great job
Up
with
and
the
under,
ball
Johnny
fake.
fouled by Heimlich.
Yeah. He really showed the ball there on that ball fake. We used to talk about a ball fake is a shot not taken. And you really look like you're going to take the shot. And I'll tell you, Jotty did. He kind of went up pretty well with the ball and the head, and everything kind of went up and got the defender off out of it, in the air.
So Jotty, who had the first points of the ball game, now with his 4th point. And goal in. Last time he was in, he went on a 5-point spree. Jotty has been up and down for a team that shoots 68%. He's now 46 of 73.
Yeah.
And he hits them in bunches too, but conversely that means he misses in bunches.
Long
tap back.
Yeah. Blake Michael on the boards, battling out a little bit.
Surprised to nobody. Nice jump stop.
Yeah. And it got himself under control that way. A lot of players go in a little bit out of control. That jump stop kind of allowed him to gather himself and get him under control.
So to put Chisholm at the line. I talked about how he was down in Nelsonville at Hopkins College. Played 29 games down there, averaged 9.2 a game. 7 of his last 10, he's been in double figures out of Akron. They don't have his school because Why? 26 points in that game on January the 20th against Mount Union. Puts down the free throw.
Yeah. It was a pretty big win for Wilmington.
He's got 4 of the last 6 for his team. Again, rocking the bright pinks because it's Valentine's Day after all. I 100% believe the guy on the other side just sneezed loudly to try to get him to miss it. That's a new one. I heard the cheerleaders at a high school game recently say he won't make it, and then the kid put 2 down in a row.
Yeah.
So that didn't go real well.
So it's going to be a man-to-man press. See if they run and jump it right away. Nope, just a little pressure.
Not a lot of man-to-man pressure, though, that I think can stop Will Miller.
No.
Just quick enough with the ball at his decision-making. And I would think, just watching Ohio Northern, that he and Jotty would be the 2 hardest guys to try to trap because they're so good with making decisions while they're in the middle of a move.
Well, and they only put 1 guy up on the press.
Same 2 for 3.
You know. They
Another
used to do that,
for Will.
You see Nick Van Exel they used to have 1 guy up, him. Now try to guard him. You know, he can move pretty well without the basketball.
Look it up, kids.
Yeah.
Look it up.
That's what
Nick Van Exel. 3 short off the left, and Reese with the rebound.
Good job, Theo.
You know, we have every streaming service known to man as Theo Mag fights for a board. I mean, you can look it up. Nick Van Exel. Look at when he was at Cincinnati, by the way, before he was a Laker.
Oh, wow.
He was really good then.
Get that ball off.
I don't know if you're Carson Miles, how you even make that work. That's about 6 moves in 1.
It wasn't very pretty.
Northern
it went in.
Calls a precision strip timeout. We'll stay here on the 30-second timeout. So 46-29. Ohio Northern led at the halftime break 42-20. So now they clearly have either stretched it or annoyed the coaches to the point where I like this from both. And Neil Young's yelling at the official of something about rocking the free world. I'm not quite sure what it was. I used that once last year. That's the one this year. But sometimes as a coaching staff, I would imagine you just kind of need to make sure you're all on the same page of what am I going to walk over there and say to them? You guys sit down. We'll figure it out amongst the adults.
Yeah, and that's really good management of your staff. You see that happen with a lot of coaches now, and get out and have a little huddle up so you can hear some other point of views. Sometimes the emotions might stop that. If you're really upset, you're not going to talk to anybody but the team, and quickly. But a lot of times that's just great to have some, staff management there.
Now, is there a time, though, that you've gone through a period where you've wanted a specific thing and you've had maybe one of your assistants talk you out of it during that conference? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've had a player talk me out of it. We ran a half motion on 4 out 1 in, and we were in the sectional finals. And I said, "Let's go 4 out 1 in." He said, "No, half motion, coach." And he was confident. He was a captain. We went with it. We won, so it must have been
he was going to be your GOAT either way.
Yeah.
Reese under 4 different guys now with a kick into the corner. Studer for 3.
Short.
Just short.
Didn't really come up and heat up the full court pressure there, Wilmington. They want to get it going, playing a little bit once again, just right off the bounce.
Unfortunately for them, there are a lot of long arm gentlemen up into the corner. The 3.
He has not been able to hit that corner shot.
2 of 9 is Wilmington from 3. They're 11 of 32 overall. Ohio Northern is 7 of 15 from 3. The crazy thing about it is that with that foul, you look at turnovers, again, 20-6 off of turnovers for Northern that they've scored off of what is now 16 turnovers for Wilmington. But the paint, 16-16. And both teams kind of have used it as a building block of trying to set something up outside.
Yeah, well, that wasn't full court man again, little reach there. Well, they probably, if Wilmington switches that screen, that's going to be a little harder to get the basketball in bounds.
So the first foul on Dominic Farley, the junior who's the leading scorer for this team and has not scored yet in this game.
Well, they're switched at that time.
Northern trying to figure out how to get out of that hole with Langford.
Yeah, good job, Langford, flashing to the sideline to get the ball in bounds. A lot of times that's the guy that gets open.
Reese is going to do it himself. Tries to, the left hand, take your letter and just move on.
Yeah.
He's got 11 now in the ball game. He's the game's second leading scorer, even though they gave that to Carson Conley on the board. Pretty big difference.
Got a blocking foul on Blake Michael.
So that'll be Blake's first foul. 48-29 ONU. Ohio Northern women midway through the third have jumped to a 14-point lead at 46-32.
Yeah, I think Blake was really honoring Travis Mitchell's outside shot, and that's why he got him off the bounce a little bit.
Ben Golan working on Studer, tried to back him down to set something else up.
Wow.
A three from Farley. I said he hadn't got going. He tried to get himself. It's not going to work. Kyle Ray, Matt Carafa, and Clay Ehrman, the officials for this ball game, by the way. One of those three, I believe, we've had the last 6 Northern games.
It would be Clay.
I was going to leave it up to their imagination.
Yeah,
but
they knew.
It's possible.
Nice cut by Langford.
Langford gets on the double down. The reverse didn't get it high enough.
Yeah.
I don't know that he knew where the shot clock was, but he got a shot off in time.
Jeez.
Same guy I was just talking about, spins so wide, and
he can't get anything to go, and he's not a lot of movement with the basketball offensively.
So worst thing for a shooter, I think, is to be frustrated.
Yeah, made 0 passes, came down the floor. Oh, he's quick. It was good hesitation move, but
they're taking more time off the clock than what they have been for a majority of this ball game.
That was pretty good help by.
Now stripped in a foul on Studer.
It's pretty good help in the passing lanes from Wilmington right there to get a strip.
At a timeout, a precision strip timeout. 48-29 Polar Bears here in the second half on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
48-29. Can you do that basket toss? Can you be any part of that? Just say no.
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 Yeah.
I could be the kid with the mustache who just stood there and watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
He did a really good job of that, by the way. He had no part of that, anything that was going on there. So look what I can do. Yeah. See, look inside Neil Young's huddle, and he's not a happy guy for a guy who's up 19 points right now, midway through this half.
He probably felt that rushing the basketball a little bit too much. Where's the fire? Let's work a little more clock. You know, and I think Wilmington got in the driving lanes here and got a steal there that he wasn't happy with.
Well, probably also to add with Studer's foul, he was very unhappy.
Yeah.
So meet Carson Miles, again, the freshman, working with 4 points. Carson, 12 points against Northern the first time around, and when he
comes a flat ball screen, Mike.
Came here, he actually said he had to figure out how he got offered both a basketball and a soccer scholarship. He said, I don't know how exactly that'll work, but they must have worked with him as he drops one to pretty much no man's land. Jacoby, standing flat-footed, put his entire palm across that basketball.
There's just nothing there.
I would probably stay away from that guy. He's tall and has long arms.
Yeah, he does a great job of walling up.
And he got away with a trip.
Yeah, he did. Good rebound by Jotty.
Jotty now will be fouled. I think that one kind of evens out because I don't know that Jacoby maybe necessarily was trying to, but as he was trying to set that inside-out screen up, he just kind of long legs and definitely left a foot there.
And you can't get that leg outside of the kind of the shoulder area, and he kind of stuck it out there. So
you can do whatever you want if they don't see it.
Correct.
I think think that's the age-old coaching philosophy. As long as we get away with it.
Yeah.
It spins it in and out.
It can be pretty simple sometimes. A player come to me and said, Coach, they're trapping in the corner. I said, don't go in the corner.
That seems like sound advice.
Right. That's good old Abe Lemon's line from New Mexico back in a long time ago.
I think that's why you have the 7th most wins in program history.
Yeah.
You didn't get there without knowing a couple of things.
Yep.
It's a turnover for Wilmington. It's one of the first one they've had in a long time, though. They just haven't been able to make shots. That's pretty much the crux of the day.
Great job, Will, by using his body to fend off the defender to get a steal there.
Caden Jacoby. He had that baby hook shot. It was like a jumper earlier on. This one's a lot closer.
Yeah.
And he makes it a 4-point effort on the night at 50-29. I was just thinking, looking around, I saw, I'm pretty sure it's the Ada, one of the Ada high school teams.
Yeah.
And then I talked about Josh Turbin's in the building, pretty much the entire Turbin family. They're all great shooters.
Yeah. I think we have Rossford's coach behind us as well.
I heard him talking about high school basketball earlier on. He's had some good teams the last couple of years. It's a great kick across. That had so much English on it.
Yeah.
But when it arrived to Isaiah Taborn, I don't think he was ready to get a clean look.
Nice good back screen by Carson Conley. A lot of back screens now around the elbow. Free throw line extended because of the, obviously you got a lead.
Miller with a jump stop inside Jacoby and the foul. And I'm telling you, that's another one that I don't know exactly how Miller saw Jacoby. He just kind of anticipated that he was going to be there.
Well, also, they run that motion offense enough now. You have special situations in practice. You know, they're up big. There's 11 minutes left to go in the game. That whole series was predicated on getting a back cut. So they knew it was coming.
Jacoby missed. Carson Conley with the offensive rebound. Johnny with a floater. Bing, bang, boom.
So if you run that every day, you can know what's going to materialize and kind of come up late. So, yeah, I think Will probably knew that was going to come available.
One of the largest leads for the men here in this ball game, and the women continue to build on their lead at 49-35 in the third.
Oh, jeez.
It's just everybody off balance. Bowl in a China shop, and the soft touch from Duguay.
You know, they got a lot of separators on the floor, Wilmington, but they just weren't able to hit a lot of shots so far tonight.
About to bring back another one as Johnny slips and slides through. Matthew, by the way, who's listed at Licking Heights High School.
Timeout by Coach Young.
Came out of Brooklyn, New York, but originally started at Edison State as a timeout for Northern.
Coach Mills is upset that we didn't have, Ohio Northern didn't have control of the ball. Really upset.
I would be more curious here on the precision strip timeouts.
It used to be. I don't know what the rule is now because I've been out of it for a while, but it used to be the player had to call the timeout. But I don't know if that's what his argument is or if it didn't have possession.
I was more curious about what it was Mason Studer said when he went into the bench, because he put his hand on his chest and then he put his hand on his head and said something, walked into the huddle of, no, I think I got the timeout, I think was his argument.
Yeah, well, there you go.
All right, I'm just making this up. It's possible.
Or maybe that's my bad and I got to use my, I don't know.
Use my noggin.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he meant.
Yeah, I know Coach Dean Smith used to say, hey, it's not a bad thing to let your team that you kind of blew that one or made a mistake, he'd say, but just don't do it too often.
I wish Carolina still had Dean Smith. I wish he was alive to coach this team and not the current dude losing to Syracuse and Clemson. Northern, by the way, 44-33 all-time against Wilmington. They're 24-13 at home, but they're 18-8 in the 49 years of this building. Like I said, came in 2 games behind Marietta, who've got the Mount today. Or I saw the Mount Union University written out the other day, and I thought, that is just a long way to just say the Mount.
Yeah. That's at Marietta, I believe.
Oldham Wallace on a Saturday. Yes, you are correct.
And that's at Marietta as well. So.
The shot clock down to 7 out of the timeout. Studer, who called it.
Great job.
So
that was just It's a great job with a ball screen into a down screen for Mason Studer. So that was drawn up. That's what they wanted to get out of it, and they got a great look.
Right down the street there by the quesadilla makers. That's where I went. 3 on the other side. Studer grabs he had the rebound for a second. And a foul called on Johnny. 2 of 11 from 3 for Wilmington.
Yeah.
7 of 15 for Northern.
Well, that makes, and then you talk about some of those turnover points. Doesn't make for a fun evening.
Well, in the last 10 minutes, by the way, Northern has an 8-2 lead in the points in the paint as well. That's a big thing. They led 42-20 at the half. Good box out to pick it up with one arm. Well, momentarily, anyways. Every time I try to give a kid some flowers, it is Valentine's Day after all. They do something that goes the other way.
Great job. Great job using the screen with Mason Studer.
Jotty with a great pass inside. And again, created. He went right hand, sort of down the lane, left inside, and on one quick scoop.
Yeah, and it was a screen and a nice little dive by, obviously, Jacoby. The action kind of dictated itself.
Jacoby got beat on the spin move, but too strong in the foul. With Matthew Doogie at the line. 6'5" senior. It's back-to-back fouls on Johnny Cunningham. Our Northern women leading 53-37 late in the third down in Wilmington.
For Wilmington, he'll have 2 shots.
So Doobie, doesn't matter whether it was here or at Edison or in high school. Again, he's a guy that if he gets going in the post, you can be in trouble because he can go from having just 2 points.
He's a big, strong kid. He certainly passes the eye test. He's strong.
He's got 5 in the last couple of minutes as the leading rebounder for the Polar Bears. And Blake Michael returns. Shout out to all the folks watching and chanting along for their team. It wasn't so much that Johnny Cunningham got the rebound, fires it down to Will Miller. It'll cost ONU the ball, but it wasn't so much he got that rebound as much as it stuck on him.
Yeah. Will doesn't think he touched it. It looked like he did, but
I mean, Will's not one to argue, right?
Here we go. Drive.
Spinning the strip. Theo Mag.
One pass and a drive.
With the steal, and here comes Johnny Cunningham again through traffic. Hit the trailer. Now on the drive. Kick back out top through Will Miller. Found a hole in the defense. Over to Studer. 3-ball.
Just a little short. Great job.
He's there again. Blake Michael.
Blake Michael, yeah. Will took the shot from the corner, and Blake pursued the rebound.
Because of course he did.
I mean, that's gotta be, I'm sure Coach Mills addressed, he needs to be blocked out. There's got to be a body put on Blake Michael every time the shot goes up. You can't rim run.
How about Blake Michael is not Ohio Northern's leading rebounder in this game?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you to know the guy with the basketball is? Johnny's got 8 rebounds to go along with 8 assists and 6 points. I'd say he's having a pretty Johnny-type game.
Good extra pass by Bird, but again, it's just can't buy a basket from 3. It was good drive, baseline, kick to the corner, because you got to relocate to the corner when you got someone driving baseline, and one good extra pass.
Mag with a handoff for Studer, kicked into the corner. The lefty triple, short. Theo Mag chased it, but was smart enough not to put his hands over the top of Gavin Heimlich. Gavin now trying to
wow, they got a little bit of size mismatch, Mike with Blake Michael.
But again, Michael, we talk about it all the time that rebounding is pretty much 90% mental.
And he's physical.
Dennis Rodman wasn't a big guy.
Athletic.
Up and down. Draymond Green, not a big guy, but he gets every rebound. Miles with his 6th point as he connects on the jumper. Miles just 3 for 5 in the game, but making it count.
Little dribble weave action to start the offense. He'll go side to side a little bit with the offense, get everybody moving a little bit, occupy some time on the shot clock. And
Theo Mag off another brilliant pass.
Yeah.
I cannot say this enough from Johnny Cunningham.
Just what they're doing is they're slip screening.
Abusing is what they're doing.
Yeah, and when you're pressuring the top side of the floor and Now you set them up there, and then you capture the basket. And Northern does that better than anybody.
Louis to the basket and fouled by Theo Mag. Now, that one I would have believed if they had not called a foul, that the coaches would have had a right to lose their mind.
Yeah, he was on the way of losing his mind, and he may have made the call. I don't know.
Now Theo will have to send over to the other side. Matthew, the line just split a pair. He's 38 of 75. It's pretty close to 50%. Rattles the first of 2 home. Ohio Northern women, again, near the end of 3, leading 53-37. Aiden Hansen in for the first time for Ohio Northern. A little bit of a matter of necessity more than anything. 61-35 Polar Bears. 7-3 on the year here at home. Up on the toe and the line drive at the front. Another rebound. This one, again, it almost seems like it's a competition between Blake Michael and Johnny Cunningham. Johnny with 9 assists in the ball game, and I don't believe that's his, I believe his career high is 12. So he's looking to find somebody downhill.
And they tried to see if the kid had Hayden Hansen going on that back cut.
Back up top to Johnny, and lost off a pair of defenders. Then Golan, the 6'5" freshman returning. Calls Mason, Ohio home. At 28 against Wittenberg, but it was the efficiency that I thought was a big part of that. He had 12 of 13 as Johnny inside for Carter Reese. Off the miss, including 4 of 4 from 3. Ball rolls out.
A lot of body on that shot. Yeah. On Reese. I thought there was a lot of body on that.
Ben Golan, by the way, as he comes back into the ball game, he had a 26 on his ACT.
Yeah.
Pretty smart kid. Make that case about a lot of these guys.
I had a 34, Mike. I took it twice and added up the score.
I took it once, got a 21, said I'm done.
Coach Campoli used to always said, I had the best 7 years of my life in college.
You're like Van Wilder, but you're real. Cunningham with another rebound behind the back, threw it into the band, and they're not eligible. And a timeout all the way. We haven't had one in about 3 or 4 minutes. So 61-35 is the lead out of the precision strip timeout for the Polar Bears here on NK Telco Sports.
We are here. And here. And here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
6.5 minutes to go in this ball game. Again, Ohio Northern desperately needs this win to keep pace in the OAC. Checking the scores on the men's side right now. The men have, again, some work to do because a couple of games that they could have potentially had just kind of late in the game. And the Baldwin Wallace game last weekend, and you look at the games in play. I think it always drives me nuts about the OAC website. You have to go through the
way
entire
to the bottom.
thing. Big games on Saturday. Right now, Marietta leading Mount Union by 6. Capital leading Muskingum by 2. Heidelberg beating up on Baldwin Wallace. And then John Carroll and Otterbein. Apparently, they don't believe in the internet.
No.
Oh, wait, I've been to Otterbein. They do not believe in the internet down there.
Or last year, or my last year was video. They wouldn't put anything up. But
I'm not getting in trouble with the OAC for this.
Yeah.
6:20. Oh, hello. Off the steal. Now Johnny Cunningham looking for .8. He found it. And he's near a triple-double. 8 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists with 6 minutes to go.
Was that Hayden Hansen that got that?
Yes, it was. And he's a long, skinny kid, and I don't know how nobody saw him.
No, it's that arm span is Unbelievable.
Flat out ridiculous. And he altered another one.
Yeah.
So here comes Howard Northern. Here comes Johnny again. Johnny looking, no look down to the corner. And on the run, there's the 10th rebound, I would think. So he's a third of the way there. 5:47 to go. Off the screen. Now the roll inside, and Hansen for 2. So he's 2/3 of the way there. Now it's Hayden's first 2 of the game. Makes it 65-35. Tell you what, I want to see him do it. He needs 2 more points.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever called I actually have one. Katie Hempling, who played at Bowling Green. Now Johnny. So unselfish. Carter Reese for 3. Hit him on the trailer.
Oh, Blake.
Rebound picked off by Langford. Up top, Reese will try again. Short.
Blake Michael
Tap back
kept
out
that
by
alive
Hansen and
twice.
kept alive.
Twice.
Blake Michael got the rebound, and Hansen used those long arms. Johnny, I don't know that he knows. Hansen for 3. That would have been big.
I can't.
That is just a ridiculous sequence. By the way, Hansen 10 of 23. 4:52 to go.
Haven't made a pass yet.
Carson Miles finally is able to get rid of it. Now on the drive inside. Hansen went straight up and again altered it. Langford comes back down off another turnover, and here come the Bears.
Got a hand on it there.
Actually, I thought it was a foot.
Could have been.
Johnny on the run. He'll get to the line with a chance to get a triple-double. If he makes 1 out of these 2 free throws, he'll have 10 points to go along with 11 rebounds and 10 assists.
That's his second.
And I don't know that, we talk a lot about triple-doubles. I don't know how much they mean nowadays because people kind of downplay that. But I think it's impressive because it shows how well-rounded that he is.
Yeah. Passing the basketball, rebounding the basketball.
You got to be able to do all 3 and then hit guys who are good shooters.
Yeah.
So Johnny with a opportunity for 10.
Jinx and Mike.
Fine.
I blame you if this doesn't go.
He's 1 of 5.
Yeah, that's one area I could probably be a little bit better at is the free throw line.
Well, he came in 45 of 72. So now the opportunity for the triple-double again. Working on 9, up and down on 10. Johnny Cunningham just put down a triple-double. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. That's impressive. I don't care who you are. 66-35, and shout out to him as a host of changes for the Polar Bears. Gavin Etzler, a former Crest Unite state champion with the first turnover.
Oh, great job. But he's
running back the other way. He thought he was smart enough that he was going to let the kid go, but Nick Malagreca Jr. So attempt just his 10th free throw of the year. Malagreca out of Bishop Watterson High School, where he was a team captain.
Malagreca flying for a bonus shot.
Did you say Watterson?
9. Yeah.
Yeah. Joey Diorio played for me from Bishop Watterson. 54.8 from three-point range. One of the leading NCAA guys in the nation.
Pretty much something went up from his hand. You knew it was going in.
Yeah.
So Cunningham now working with the basketball. On the dribble and the drive, kick in the corner, and actually was wrong. He's got 9. Now on the pull-up. Too strong. I was thinking if he hit both, he had 10.
Yeah.
Math is hard, okay? 3:44 to go.
Probably the reason why I taught English for 20-some years.
I don't think they're going to let me do that. Bryce Stewart, who checked in with the rebound now in his 9th game, the 6'4 sophomore. Off for Etzler. I feel like Northern knows at this point.
I do too.
And off of Johnny's hands and out of bounds. That will be his 3rd turnover, and I think he's done.
Yeah. You generally don't coach with statistics in mind of individual players, but some do.
9 points, 10 rebound, or 10 assists, 11 rebounds.
We talked about young and youth of the team, and Baldwin Wallace is young, and I talked earlier, and I'm not so sure that with the transfer portal, that's even a thing anymore now, being young because of the transfer portal.
That's John Calipari.
Yeah. Well, my last year, we beat John Carroll in the semifinal at John Carroll, which is never easy to do, and got to the finals. But the following year, they had 4 or 5 Division I transfers. So they went from not so young to experienced real quick.
Kellen Balthazar playing against 11th game of the year with the free throw, left it short. Kellen played baseball in high school at Wilmington, right down the road from the college. Sophomore. Now 0 for 3 on the season from the so-called charity stripe. It's like Coach Mills telling jokes. And he hits on his first. 66-39 now with 3:15 to go.
A little 2-2-1 pressure. Got a little loof with the ball.
And Northern did just that again as the take through and one. Alec Recca is adding some big-time buckets late in this game.
Just a bad little, just a little bit of an errant pass, kind of flipped it from kind of his waist, and Wilmington was able to get a hand on it to tip it. You got to be strong, get that ball up and over and make an overhead pass, or just fake the overhead and take a bounce pass right there. They're going to come get him right away in the corner.
With 6 and 2 different and ones.
Good job.
That was Bryce Stewart.
Yeah, good job with Bryce.
Races ahead of the defense.
Grabbing that basketball and getting out of there.
2:50 to go as the ball off. We'll stay with Ohio Northern, but all fingertips. Big thanks again to the First National Bank and Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Quality Meats, Green Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco for bringing you college basketball here tonight. Alshit's stuck in a pass inside and a foul along the way. Because we had all those fouls left over. We just had to make sure we used them all. Zach McGurk, that'll be number 1 for him. Brady Woodall, who played at Centerville and Dayton Christian. He's from Centerville.
Yeah.
But he takes over a pretty big number from Adam Scott.
Adam was probably, maybe arguably, one of the most athletic players I've ever coached. And coached a lot of really good players as far as our state championship team and here at Ohio Northern.
7 steals.
Yeah, Adam could play.
All time in OHSA history. Averaged 24 points a game. Ended his career with 6 school records, and he's 5th on the all-time scoring list. 1,151 points. Second team All-Ohio, and knocks down both free throws. That's the lead to 68-42. So Northern working out a couple of guys, including Woodall, out on the front. The take high.
Bryce did a good job jumping straight up and down and walling out, but it was a nice high off the glass, off the backboard kind of shot.
Good play by Balthazar there at 2:23 now. The Ohio Northern women, by the way, leading 53-37 in the third as the shot rolls off the front half of the rim and away. Northern will make more substitutions. Kendall and Porter into the ball game. I don't know why when I watch video of the other game it never updates. So Ohio Northern women are winners down in Wilmington by 69-47 margin. Pretty close to what's hanging on the board here.
Yeah.
68-44 with 2 minutes to go. Long, deep triple. That had a lot of height behind it.
Yeah, that drew some rain, I think, in the clouds.
That's the hardest thing.
Go. Good job.
Trying to figure out what 15 guys are going to be in the book.
Yeah.
It never works that way.
And these guys were, really good high school basketball players. I think people have to kind of understand that,
That was Colin Barker out of Wilmington for 3. Northern with a 3 of their own. That, again, I always pick 15 kids, and I try to pick the 15 kids that have played the most on the stats, and it always ends up being 1 or 2 guys that get away.
That's a line drive. Yeah, these guys are playing really hard that came in the game for Wilmington. Short.
And you say short, he says buckets.
Yeah, it's a heat-seeking missile that didn't end up being very short.
I said, I'm sorry, what'd you say? 3 up and good now, a minute to go in a 68-50 game. And, it's going to be interesting, too, because people are going to look at the score and say, it's not really bad, but it's not been that close.
Not indicative of how this game went at all. It's pretty much a buzzsaw from the beginning to the little back end of all this.
So J.D. Kendall at the line for the first time in this ball game. J.D. on this 1-1.
Wilmington's, they're right there in that tri-state area where you got Kentucky and Cincinnati and Indiana.
So Kentucky and Kentucky?
He walked.
So if we could give Cincinnati and Kentucky, I'd be all right with that. Take the Skyline Chili with them.
Great job, Marcus.
So again, the subs for Northern. I thought it would have been a travel, would have been easier that way.
Yeah.
Final 35 seconds of this ball game, and a basket back the other way. I just love TJ Motul because he's pretty much got every creative player thing. You know, he's got the bright shoes, he's got the headband. He's representing Aramis, California, and it's St. Francis High School.
Yeah, he put that eye off the glass, kind of run and floater.
I don't have anything fancy for Aramis, California, by the way, because I didn't know he was going to play.
There's three to guard. Yeah.
I'd like to tell you something about his hometown.
I'm a little shocked by that, Dave.
I would like to tell you something about his hometown. Dave's not here, man. It's down 68-52. The Polar Bears again will play home for potentially their tournament lives on Saturday. But right now, they're knocking down shots on a Wednesday night from Brady Woodall. That is his second triple of the year and just his third attempt.
Oh,
he just threw that to himself?
He sure did.
How do you even do that?
It got, I think the officials saw maybe that it got hit out of his hands. And
I don't think it did.
No, I don't either.
I'm pretty sure it did not. 71-55 is the final. I'd expect that in the NBA All-Star game. Whatever. 16-point win for the Polar Bears. They now get their record of 12-12. But most importantly, they go to 7-10. It'll be senior day on Saturday, but we'll wrap this one up when we come back to Ada here on K-Telco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Back here in Ada is a 71-55 win for the Polar Bears. You see there on the First National Bank scoreboard. Big thank you to them, along with Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, winners meets. Great Lake Health Systems and NK Telco for helping us bring you this ball game. 20 of 57 on the Grand Lake Health Systems final stats for Wilmington. They did go 5 of 19 from 3. 10 of 14 from the free throw line. And I talked about 40 was the number earlier on, about 40 rebounds, how this team had won their last 2 with that exact number. Ohio Northern out-rebounds Wilmington 40-39. So they don't make it to that number. A big part of why that is 20 turnovers in this ball game. Ohio Northern turned it into 22 points. Points of the paint pretty much even. Bench points go the way of Wilmington. Why? Because everybody literally scored in the end of this game. But Ohio Northern shoots 29-64. They lead the entire way. 9 of 25 from 3. 4 of 12, though, from the line. Johnny Cunningham Jr. would be my player of the game if I had one. 11 rebounds for him to go along with 10 assists. And just 9 points. 1 away if he had hit any one of the 4 that he missed from the line. That would have been good. But Mason Studer shot 6 of 11 overall for 16, including 4 of 8 from 3. Will Miller had a 4 of 10 performance. 3 Bears in double figures, led by Mason Studer with 16. A good team win here for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, very good. Mason, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I think of the last couple few weeks, he was really under the weather. You kind of saw it when he was eating in the cafeteria and Mac and stuff like that. He just wasn't feeling good. I think he really felt really good tonight, obviously.
I would say so. Whatever it was that he ate, probably shouldn't give it back to him. That's, again, what we have. Don't forget, you can watch these games on demand at nktelcosports.com. You can watch them on YouTube and Facebook as well. But we've got a lot more basketball to get to, including Saturday afternoon. The Ohio Northern men will be back in this building, hoping for a chance to get themselves into the OAC tournament. And a big thank you to Kurt Kuffner, Mark Fissel, Josh Miller, and Paul Downing on our cameras, and our assistant director, and Jeff Henshin, as well as the guy in the truck that makes things happen. He drives it everywhere, up and down the road in Austin, Ambergy. And for Rich Bensman and Mike Hearn, have a great night and an even better tomorrow from all of us here in Ada at NK Telco Sports.